have out next is Bailey Knight for Australia. He's from Queensland. He started trialling 9 years ago after his father Barry, who we saw previously, started taking him around to the trials, and he thought he'd give it a go. He's so far won 2 Queensland Championships, and he's been the 3 times Queensland Open Dog of the Year and 2 times Queensland Handler of the Year. This little dog he's got here, Duncan, he's an 8-year-old dog, and he's won multiple open trials, including their championships. Bailey's a plumber by trade, so he's not a natural, like a professional stockman or anything, but he does a very good job, and he's does a great job here, so he's out. This is Melnunni Duncan. Duncan's sheep are on a bit of a walk up here already before he gets here, but they've stopped again. Nice, quiet moving dog Duncan is. So he's got them coming down here nicely. They've turned and moved off Duncan quite well. He's just moving Duncan around here to just put a bit more pressure on from behind, get them moving forward again. Just nicely, calmly walking in. So you see Duncan just moves a little bit to the left and the right to keep the sheep straight. And you can see they started to run, so as soon as Duncan stopped, the sheep stopped. Sheep are quite tricky to move. If you give them time to think, that can be a good thing. If you rush them too much, their brains don't work. So he's got them down here nicely, which is nice. They're moving fairly freely forward off Duncan. So he's got them down here nicely. Just moving the dog around nicely here to just steer these sheep around where we want them to go. So again, they've just got to go down the left-hand side here of Bailey where they are and go around behind him. Once they've passed behind him and they're on his right-hand side, he can continue onto the course. I don't want them to go across the front, they've got to go across behind. Duncan will just have to bring them back down a bit further before they can turn around there. There we go. Yep, so Duncan was pretty quick to get up there. He just wants him to turn and go back the other way. And a good spot there just to turn and walk around, not go around behind. Yep. There they go, so they've gone around there nicely. So again, this is a 9 metre course. The sheep have to stay within 9 metres of the handler on his right hand side. So if they go any more than 9 metres in front of or behind or out to the left, the judge will be deducting points. He's doing a good job here. They're just coming up here nicely. Duncan's had to switch directions a few times here to get in the right spot, just to put a bit of pressure in the right spots. He's just done a beautiful job carrying their sheep up the ground here. Bailey's been the reserve for the Australian team for 2 years. This year he was successful in obtaining a solid position, and he's really earned it with his performance over the last few years. So well done, Bailey, and his little dog here, Duncan. You can see they've accepted Duncan quite well. He can manoeuvre around without upsetting them too much. So go through the gap here, nice and smooth. That sheep's looking straight through the gap. He's just getting Duncan to cover that far side, just to encourage them through gently.
Finally finished all the bloody data entry results. Yep.
So now Bailey's got to walk through the gap to take up a position for the drive. He's just got them just beautifully positioned, and Bailey comes up behind. It's just nicely along there in the middle, straight down the middle there. See, the sheep are still quite calm, happy to walk along, and they're quite mindful of Duncan and Bailey here. So they're in the free working area now, so Bailey can influence the sheep here as well. Ooh, Bailey's got to block his side. There we go. There we go, they're looking down, so that's good. We've got a lot of wool on these sheep, so now they're in. Beautiful little Romneys walking straight through. So he's kept them in nice and tight there to be able to flick them into that other one there. Okay, beautifully done, nicely turned, so there'll be no points out for coming off course there. They came straight out of one and around into the other. Now they're coming out this front end here as prescribed, and the judges are looking for nice forward movement, straight lines, a smooth stock movement and flow of the stock. This is Bailey Knight for Australia. It's part of the High Pro Australian Test team. He's got them nicely stepping out here. As you can see, Proplan Purina is the major sponsor of the sheepdog trialling here in New Zealand. They're great supporters of sheepdog trials all across the country here in New Zealand. I believe they've been doing it since about 1960 or earlier with their Tux brand. So they've been a long-standing partner of sheepdog trials, as we are in the sheepdog trials in Australia. Look at that, beautiful. Those sheep are looking for the entry. Off they go. See, Bailey's just putting a bit of pressure on as well. Duncan's just going to help encourage them off the other end. You can see they just dropped off nicely. They're not running off. They're not frightened at all. Just going to put them back on the corridor here, and we've had a bit of a trot up there. Duncan's just, they've just taken a point off there by coming out of the corridor. So he's heading to the pen. He's had a very nice run here, Bailey and Duncan. A few minor deviations, but nothing extremely costly at this point. So we're over here now in the mouth of the pen. Bailey and Duncan for Australia. It's a third member out, so they're putting up a good run here for Australia, if you can just get them in the pen here without too many hiccups. There we go, you can see there's still one looking around out here. They've got to be clear of the gate before the handler can shut the pen. So Bailey will just be wanting to make sure that those three sheep are content in there before he steps in. There we go, we just want him to turn the other way. There we go, that's beautifully done there. Well done, Bailey and Duncan for Australia.
Great run there from Bailey Knight, Melnunni, Duncan. That's the third run.